Your kiss got me hoping you save me right now. Yeah, my hair is crazy. But we made it, y'all. We made it. I'm 1/8 of a doctor. 1/8 of a doctor. Ay. No, but today I finished my last exams of 2018. And technically I'm in the second semester. But it really started last week, Tuesday. Today is Friday, December 14th. But yeah, we're done. Until next year. It's lit. Oh my god. Like, it's crazy. Like, wow. Let's just recap, Just a little recap. So, we started July 11th. And we started with Molecules in Cells 1, which was biochemistry. Hard. I was crying every day. Well, let me be, realistic. It was hard, It was, the workload was such a huge adjustment to get used to. And it worked out somehow, but, it was just a lot, And then we moved on to histology. Molecules in Cells 2. Histology, immunology, bacteriology, or rather microbiology, virology, genetics, Molecules in Cells 2, and that was hard, I got the same grade in both, but it's just it's so difficult. But in spite of it, I had really high highs. The highest was when I started, honestly. But lows, very low. How do I even, let me just think of an example. Me not getting the grades I wanted. I didn't feel anything in those blocks. But yeah, it was just I had moments of doubt. Am I supposed to be here? Is this the right path? Is this what God wants for me? But for some reason, I've made it to today, so I think this is, I think I'm in it for the long haul at this point, But I'm grateful. Yeah. And then after that we had structure and function 1. We did upper limb, which was from the shoulder to the arm, heavily brachial plexus. Yeah, and then we did lower limb. Just finished that up last week, from the glutes to the foot. And that's all we've done so far. And now we just had our first exam in neuroanatomy. And when we come back, we're going to have it until February. So I've learned, I feel like I won't really get a good grasp of what I've learned, because I feel like it's in one ear, out the other, just memorize it for the exam. But when I see it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember we learned that. Oh my gosh. Even when that happens in the past, because some diseases we keep repeating. The George, myasthenia gravis, other ones, so as it keeps coming back again, I pick up a little bit more. And I was just thinking about this the other day, but I feel like with each new section that we see the same disease over and over again, we kind of get a different aspect of it. With the George, we first learned of it as a chromosomal disorder, 22 deletion of chromosome 22 or something like that. But we didn't really know why. We just saw the symptoms. But this neuroanatomy lecture, this neuroanatomy, what we've done so far, we've now learned that it's due to a pharyngeal arch defect, and that's the effect of that deletion, of that that mutation. It results in a pharyngeal arch defect. So I'm just when we get to cardiology, how are we gonna see that manifesting? That's gonna be so cool, really interesting. And just last week, we had a lecture about just an overview of the different neurotransmitters in the brain. But next year we're gonna have a lecture on addiction and how those neurotransmitters play a role in that, what that looks like in the brain. That's gonna be so cool, because that's so what I'm interested in. I can't wait. But I like it, and I know I'm gonna like it inherently because of what it'll teach me. But in terms of me being tested on it and being expected to regurgitate that information, I'm not gonna like that. But that's the side effect of being here. So what choice do I have? Yeah. But I'm really happy. I just feel like even if I don't, honor everything, I'm learning, and that's what matters. Because I need to learn not to get an A, but to save lives, to be someone who can be trusted with people's lives, not just one person, not just my kid, but people. Like literally, my life will be in service to other people. Well, at least my career. But yeah, I am excited. Like I'm kind of like today's gonna be chill. I'm just gonna recuperate. But low key, I do kind of feel like a sense of like foreboding, like because I know it's gonna get more difficult. But like I also need to like stay here and like remember like yeah, it's gonna be difficult. But that doesn't mean that you can't handle it. You're literally here. You've gotten this far. You're literally so close to honoring. Like it's not even like I barely passed. Like no, you're like so close, like mere percentage points away from honoring. So you know your shit. You just need to believe that you know your shit. Yeah. So academic wise, I'm straight. I'm learning. Grateful to be here. I really enjoy the information, like especially neuro. Like as complicated as it is, if I understood it, and once I understand it, then I'll appreciate it even more. But oh yeah. So now we're gonna move on to like social. So this has been so like a roller coaster. Like good one day, down in the depths the next. Like this, like the social aspect of medical school has been one of the most challenging, for sure. I mean, in a way, it kind of like takes me back to like all the other situations I've had, because in a lot of ways medical school is really similar to high school. You see the same people every day. You even have your own locker. You all go to the same classes together, and then people have their cliques, and that's what it is. And like in the beginning that wasn't really a thing because everybody was just filling each other out. But then it's like one day I woke up a couple months in and I was like, wow, everybody has their people. Like, yeah, wow. It's either you're on campus and you're with your people, or you're at home, maybe with your people at home, or just by yourself. So it's like I never really see anyone who's there with me, like chilling by themselves. Like it's just either you in or you're not. And like, yes, study group, that took a while to form, but it did form. But I can't even say like it's really like, oh, study, we're all committed, because it's not it. Like literally we only come together when we have an exam and we have to do questions. And then the one girl doesn't even come. Like she's just like, oh, I studied by myself, blah blah. And I'm like, that's totally fine, but like it's just sad. It's a bummer. But I'd rather have you be more successful. If you could study by yourself and be successful, then do that. Don't feel like you need to be held back by us. But yeah. And I also feel like this unit is kind of a lot of self-studying, so it don't necessarily need to like meet, but it would help because then I'd be able to ask questions. But I can ask them. If I know the questions, I can ask the questions, but I don't really know the questions to ask. Like it's like so weird when like when you go through something and you're like, oh, I've seen this, I understand it, like I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, like the lecturer. But then when you get a question on that material, then it's like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to process it and understand it in that way. And that's like where you get fucked up, because it's like you need to go into the mind of the test writer. Like, how would they want me to know this information? And ideally, it would match the way that the BME wants you to answer step questions, because that's the whole goal of these first 2 years, to pass step with a good score so you can be competitive for residency. But yeah, anyway, I digress. Yeah, so social. Yeah, so and I know everybody. I say hi to most people. Like there was definitely a point in the middle of the semester where I was like, oh, I really don't even want to talk to y'all, like, because I know you guys don't like me, so I'm gonna act like I don't like you. But that's kind of like I'm lying to myself, because I'm assuming like, oh, I can match that same energy, but I'm not that type of person. So I just needed to be myself, and I still am myself. Like no matter what, I'm myself. But I'm not gonna lie, like the real me is like quirky and like like, oh my god, like that. But I don't say that out loud. I don't act like that out loud. Yeah. I just like little. I take the nuances of everything and. Sorry, I'm just watching these people. I take the nuances of everything and really try and get a glimpse into what it could be like. I always feel like there's always more than meets the eye, especially with walls. Like when people have walls, but I have walls too, so maybe that's why I feel that way. Please work. Yeah, maybe that's why I feel that way. I don't know, but yeah, and I like learning about people and talking to people and learning new things, but I also want to remember the things, and it's so hard to remember the things because it's like so detailed. But like I only remember like a few specific details, and I guess that's okay because that's really all that a human can be expected to do. You know, like you can't remember everything. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad I'm at this point now where like I don't really care. Like at least this past month, I think I've been pretty like chill. You know, it's like I say hi to you. If I need to ask you a question, I do. If I just want to chill, I do. Like I don't really have that expectation like, oh, I need to come here in front of my best friend, blah blah, because it just kind of is what it is. Like we're all here struggling together, and even though you may not know me personally, that doesn't mean that I can't talk to you. You know. But at the same time, like it does suck. Like I do get this twinge of like, like I want to be like, I want to have the relationship that I want to have the relationship with you that you have with X person, and I'm like, okay, what are the things that I can say to make sure that we get there? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And like it's crazy. Like I've been on dates too, like this past month, and like, well, I think like one. That's off the top of my head. That's all I can think of. But like we were talking, and then he was like, "So who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" And I was like, and then he was like, "Yeah, you're just saying what you think that you want me to hear." And I really realized like that's me. Like I feel like so much of me is, I want you to like me. So I'm gonna say what you want to hear, not how I feel. But a lot of times it's like, "Oh yeah, I think you'd like that. Oh yeah, I also agree with that. So let me just say that." But it's like, but what would happen if I didn't even take into account their expectations or what they expected to hear at all? Like, what is my actual true, like, belief? There are certain things that I have really strong convictions about, but other things, like when someone asks me such an abstract question like that, like, there's so many things that I could say that I don't really know what to say. And that's kind of why I was like, I kept it general, and that's why it sounded like, oh, you're not serious, you're not genuine. But I also think that I learned more about myself interacting with other people, and I really learned that in college, and I still hold to that belief. So the guy was like, oh no, blah blah, you don't do that. You learn how you interact with other people, but you don't really learn about who you are. And I'm like, I don't feel that way. But yeah, he's an interesting kid. Oh yeah, and then like this, I'm just kind of like going through everything, like little bits and pieces of this past semester coming back. But like this one, the lowest point, I don't remember when it was, like probably in November. Yeah, so we were out at this birthday girl's party. Like we went to dinner for one of our classmates, and you know, it was chill. The dinner was actually my food was not that good, but I ate it, half of it. And we were leaving, we were taking pictures, blah blah. I had a cute outfit on, and I was like, so you gonna take me or not? And then they're like, ooh, take us. And I'm like, okay, sure, you know, that's fine. I'll take it. I took it, and I thought they were good. Where's my picture at? Oh, next person. Oh, not you. Oh, not you. And it was a birthday girl. She was like taking pictures of everybody, and I was like, okay, let me not stop you. And then, you know, maybe the thing was like 5 minutes, but like within the 5 minutes, I was kind of like, let it go. Like, it's fine. I don't need a picture. And I was just standing around waiting for them to finish. And then suddenly everybody broke off. And then, because the next move was like I forgot, like some kind of meet and greet thing at in Hyattsville. And I was like debating. I had been debating the whole night, like, am I gonna go? Am I not gonna go? Because I did have to study. So I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't. So then people broke off. Some people had already left at that time, and then they were over there looking at the pictures. And then I was like, okay, see you guys. And then she was like, oh, are you gonna go? Are you coming? And I was like, I don't know. And she's like she kind of like looked away, and I was like, oh, all right. So then I was like, okay, that hurt. And I could feel the crying coming on. Got to the car, burst into tears, like, horrible. Like, I cried like how I would if I was at my house. And it was horrible. Like, I just felt so misunderstood. So, like, there was such a wall. And, like, no matter what, it couldn't be broken down. I just felt so defeated. And, like, I looked at my makeup and I was like, wow, it's really all over my face. Like, little tear lines, like, rolling down. And I was like, I can't go to any party, nothing. And then at that point, I was like, okay, let me just drive there anyway. Maybe I can try and, like, touch up or whatever. So I drove to the place. And then I parked in the garage. Well, like, I sat in my car inside of the garage. And I was like, okay, let me just see what I can do. And then I looked at it again and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So then I was planning to leave. It starts pouring down rain. Like, when I tell you pouring for like 30 minutes, maybe even an hour. So I was like, okay, I really can't stay here, but I don't feel safe driving. So then I was like, let me just drive to this outside parking lot, because at that point there also wasn't really good parking. Like, I think I was parking at a handicap spot or something. So I was like, let me go. So I drove across the street, stayed there, listened to this podcast about, like, how to be yourself or something like that. I don't remember. But eventually, maybe after an hour, the rain kind of, like, settled down. I actually ended up finishing my food because I was just like, I have nothing else to do. So then I drove home, parked stuff, and then when I got out of the car, I came back, I was like, I feel numb, I really felt numb. So at that point, my roommates had been coming back, and then they heard me and they were like yelling, Chamaka, Chamaka, and I was like, well, Chiamaka, whatever that is. And then I didn't say anything because I was just not in the mood. Like, I did not want to talk to anybody, didn't want to see anybody, didn't want to exist. Like, it was really bad. And then I just burst into tears again, crying, moping about my life, why am I here, blah, blah, blah. Every negative thought that always comes up after I have, like, a breakdown, that's what was going on. And then I started, like, hitting myself, slapping myself, like, pinching myself, like why are you existing, why are you here? Like, I said so many mean things to myself that day. And I was like, wow, like, who is this? Like, what's going on? Like, why today? But it definitely wasn't just because of that perceived snub that I thought happened. It definitely, everything built up with, like, the not feeling like I have people, not feeling like I'm 100% me. And, the majority of time, I'm good. Like, I don't need, like, I'm not solely dependent on someone else to make me feel like I am understood, to make me feel like people see the real me. Like, I can just know that who I am and be content with that. But there are other times where I look at someone else and I'm like, oh, you have what I have. But they only have... I'm only saying that because that's what I think. I don't know the ins and outs of that. But I kind of base that on, like, this is a goal I failed at. I didn't get it. I'm not good enough, blah, blah. Like, it's just... these are the thoughts I tell myself. This is the biggest hurdle of my life, I guess. I don't know. And I just feel like it keeps popping up in different ways. Different people. At every point in my life, at school, like, the different levels of school, I mean. It's always, I haven't found that person. I did in Uche. I do. But at the end of the day, like, at this current moment, it's not the same because you're over there. You have a whole life. Like, you have your own shit to deal with. and I don't want to burden you with that. Like, you have enough. And also, like, I don't know, like, she makes me I feel like she understands me, not in the way that I thought that I would want to be understood, but in a way that's just as good as being understood. Like, I just feel like she just gets it. Like, she's one of the most caring people I've ever met in my life. Like, she's who I want. She has traits that I want my husband to have. So yeah, she's amazing. I miss her. I need to call her. Hopefully I'll see her next week. But yeah, she's going through a rough patch right now. You know? Yeah, I just want her to be successful. And I want her to realize that she can do that by herself. I'm digressing. But yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's what it is, you know? Every day I'm just working, learning, growing, trying to be the best version of me that I can. You know, it's hard, but it doesn't mean it's not going to be worth it. It doesn't mean that it's not impossible, because it's difficult. I'll just appreciate it more once I reach that goal. Yeah. But I just want to stay true to me, stay true to God, and be there for my family. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna watch shows, drink wine, do all that. I really want to, like, get weave, get nails, get my eyebrows done, because look at these shits. Like, I'm pressed. Okay. And I'm probably gonna sleep too, because I slept on my chair last night. Like, I have not done that since I got here. But yeah, it's bad. Like, I got maybe 3 hours of sleep, 3 hours and 30 minutes. But yeah, I have so much energy right now. I did just eat ramen though, which is bomb. But yeah, okay, bye.